you are going to lose if you keep going back to that same mindset. You lost if you keep trying to do things how you've always done things. You've lost if you gain inspiration and motivation in one moment, in one day, and then the next day you go back to the same habits that you've always leaned into. You have lost when you don't listen to your intuition. You have lost when you try to overthink your way out of your current situation. You have lost when you truly do not know what you are capable of, which is infinity. The reason I know this is because right now we are in the midst of an ascension. I can't even keep my face straight. We are in the midst of an ascension, of a breakthrough. And to be a little bit more personal, I've already committed. I already know where I'm supposed to be. You even see writing. This is unintentional. You even see writing. I've already done the work. And I know right now, I'm in between two worlds, which is the world that I've created for myself out of propaganda, out of unawareness, out of what I've been told outside of myself. And there's the world that I know I have within me and that I know I'm able and capable to create in physical form because I've done it many times. And I'm not just speaking for myself, I'm speaking for you because you have done it time and time again. But you lost when you keep going back out of fear and thinking that you need to get a certain job right now because you have bills to pay, because you need to eat. You have lost when you go back to this matrix, mundane mindset. You lost. But the moment you continue every single time your mind tries to go back to that mindset, the moment you realize through your intuition and through your gut that, hold on, for some reason, even though it's logical for me to maybe get a job here, you know, what I've been doing hasn't been providing for me, so I think I need to get a job here because I need to pay. I have a little bit of money, but I don't know what's going to happen in 2 or 3 or 4 months. So I might need to get a job here because logically, I think that if I do that, but wait, then you get this other thought. What about what I'm on the journey for? What about what I feel genetically imposed upon? Or in other words, what about what I feel is right for me in my gut? What is my heart and soul telling me to do that my mind is picking up? What about that? Why do I feel like that I need to still keep moving forward? Not with, we don't want to call them dreams. We want to call your predestined life, what you came here to do. Why do I feel like, you know what, if I just do a little bit more in regards of really pursuing that path? What if that's my true destiny? What if that's my true route right now? What if all of these things that I'm concerned about, what if all of these worries and fears that I have, which have been taught, which are basically the cornerstone of everybody's life, of this matrix manipulation, what if all of these things are really just smoke and mirrors? What if all of these things are codependent upon my perception? What about that? Am I giving power to this illusion, this Maya, because I've been taught to give power to it? What happens if I let go of that? And what happens if I identify with not only my abundance, but my ability to create exactly what I want to create in this realm? Because newsflash, you've already created this. You've created this through the information that you've received mostly on the outside and through your faith aligned with that. Now, with those two concepts, information and faith, information regarding work, information in this case, let's focus inverse on the inside. What if I were to focus and surround myself with information and proof of examples, whether I've went through these examples, speaking for yourself, speaking about you went through these examples in life where things just fell easily into your lap, opportunities, moments in time, experiences, people. What if I go back, or what if there's no time, what if I go and I think about those times? What was going on there? What if I look outside of myself in a deliberate way, in a specific way, and I look at other people sharing their lives and their lifestyles? If they can do it, I can do it. I wonder how they did it. There's no coincidences. What if I really lean into that type of energy and I let go of this old type of energy? Will I still lose? Have I still lost? What's important is our frequency in regards to our faith, in other words, beliefs, what we truly hold to be true. And if our frequency is correct, we're able to create. And why, when you get so fearful about illness or loss or humiliation, why does that fear seem so strong? And why are you even afraid of it? Because there's something deep down in you that knows, if I keep thinking about this, it's going to come into my reality. There's two sides to the coin. So what happens if we flip that coin? And what happens if we have a all-in resonation, an all-in faithfulness of, I'm being guided. God, the divine, the infinite, my angels are guiding me exactly where I desire to be. And I know that through my intuition. I know that when I go and I look for careers, or I look for spouses, or I look for things outside of me, I know that when that feeling within me comes up and says, nah, nothing's out there for you. It's time to really embark on your journey. Nah, they're not the one for you. It's time to focus on you. Nah, this is not the path for you. You can feel it before you can think it. And ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the reason why I'm sharing this message so precisely, so focused with you today, there's no distractions around here, we're focused. And the reason why I deliver this message so precisely is because right now, as I said, we are in the midst of an evolution. We are in the midst of a breakthrough. We are in the midst of an ascension. And it's so crucial right now. It is so crucial for you to lean into yourself, for you to lean into your intuition. And that's all I have to say. And lastly, the reason I'm saying this, just to kind of bring it back down for a second so I can really connect with you, is I've been looking for jobs for the last 2 or 3 weeks. I've had job opportunities all throughout these weeks, including today. But something in my gut is telling me, don't do that. Right now is your opportunity. Don't do that. Right now is your opportunity. What you're doing right now is going to flourish into something special. So take it a day at a time. Focus on your vibration. In other words, focus on your mood, focus on your emotions, and move towards the path of least resistance. That doesn't mean just sit around all day. That doesn't mean don't take care of yourself. But taking care of yourself not only develops your inner world or your outer world, but starts in your inner world. It starts with your mind. It starts with your body. That loosens up the spirit. And I picked up this camera today because I was just feeling that. And I've had some synchronicities. For example, I just met an old friend for some coffee. We were there for about an hour and 45, haven't seen each other in about 7 or 8 years. Had a great conversation. On my way out, I had a bumblebee. Right on top of my van. So what did I do naturally? I didn't want to drive away from it because I didn't want to disturb it. So I tried to put it on my finger. Wasn't going on my finger, so I put it on a piece of paper and I put it in the bushes, back into nature. Then I come home. This was about 2 hours ago. Then I come home. Had the job offer. They asked me to come do an interview. I said, I made up an excuse. I had the wrong town. I had the wrong state. I'm sorry. They said, it's okay. I said, thank you. Really leaning and listening to my intuition. Guess what I see on my window? A bumblebee. Right on my window. That was a sign for me that I'm on the right path. Then I started looking up the spiritual meaning of a bumblebee. See, we think sometimes some of these insects and some of these bugs and some of these epiphanies and some of these synchronicities and some of these deja vus, we just think that they're just an anomaly, or we just think that they are just a coincidence. There's no coincidences in this realm. There's none. So finally, what I would like to say is that you are losing. If you are not listening to your gut, you have lost. If you do not lean into you and unbox what you have inside. Just like a seed in the ground. It takes time every single day to cultivate it, whether you need to water it once, whether you need to water it twice. But once you get a little bit of leeway, once you get a week into it, into 2 weeks, it builds up into something massive. Let me ask you something. If you were guaranteed a specific amount of money, let's say if you were guaranteed $3,000 a day, $4,000, $5,000 a day, in exchange for you doing some type of work, some type of job, would you take that as option A, Or for option B, would you take just making a penny today and it doubling every day? That's my question for you. Because when you do the math, that penny, before you even know it, will become millions. I just watched a video about somebody eating a calorie a day and it doubling. They started with 1 calorie a day. Of course, day 2, they were at 2 calories. Day 3, they were at 4 calories. Can you guess how many calories they were at by the time they got to their last day, which was the 15th day? Can you guess how many calories they were at? 16,000. And on day 4, they only had 8 calories. Time is an illusion. Time is an illusion. But what isn't an illusion that we have been taught is our intuition. So it's time for you not to lose yourself, not to lose to fear, not to lose to this outside manipulation, but it's time for you to win internally. It's time for you to win internally and connect to your intuition in order for your outside environment to match that vibration. It's time to win.